another guy, Russell Brand, who's one of my heroes. Like that guy knows so much. When you hear him speak, some interviews,
he's crazy.
Blows my mind a lot. Yeah, he's crazy. Like his whole sexual drive is the only like deviant from him being the coolest person I've ever seen on TV. I think, but his whole
maybe that's the reason he is the coolest person.
Yeah, maybe that help. I think that's helped to get like part of me thinks I shouldn't be as try not to be pure, just do some fucking radical shit and get noticed, and then be I've changed my ways. I've done, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like what he's done,
but your heart's not saying that. Is
yeah,
it?
But it's too hard now. Yeah, it's beyond that point. But he did a series called R.E. Brand, which no one really saw. But he let a homeless guy from the streets of London live with him, and that was
fucking way.
That was amazing. Like the guy, like he helped him out. And there's another one where he went to a gay bar in Soho and jerked a guy off in the toilet. And I thought that's such great immersion journalism. Like he's gone in there. I could never do that, but it's amazing that he's committed, and that's why he's got to the place he's got. You know, when you watch people's routes to success, and no one really knows about this stuff, but his commitment at this level has risen to where he is now. And it's the same with Sacha Baron Cohen. They've both made it huge in America because of their commitment in London.
Commit.
Brian
I did ask a homeless man to be on the show.
Yeah.
Andy at Waitrose, if you're listening, he turned me down.
Oh, did you ask a homeless guy?
Yeah, I said, would you like to be on a show? And he's like, no. He actually done some BBC radio a few years earlier, and they'd asked him about the big issue, and he actually had a lot of things he didn't like about the big issue. And I was like, would you like to come on the show? And he was like, nope, I'm done with the media.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Brian always wants me to donate a kidney for London Real to get some exposure.
Oh, that would help.
Commit, motherfucker. Yeah. Russell Brand would do it. So if you're looking at, you want to be famous and you're looking at like the next 5 years, like what's, I know you can never say for sure, but where do you want to be? What's ideal?
I really don't know.
Maybe the next James Bond?
My biggest thing lately is I'm being vegan, and I just think, like, no, I don't need to mess with any other being's reality for me to survive. Like, no animals need to be messed with for my survival. I can eat plants, and I thrive off plants. Like, since I've changed to this diet, my joints feel much younger. I feel more nimble. I feel like I'm 12 years old again. My energy is really rocketed, and it's like I don't understand why anyone needs to eat meat. It's like it's such a bad karma that comes with it. This animal gets. I don't know how you guys feel about me talking about this, but
we talk about this all the time.
Do you? Yeah. I mean, it's when an animal gets killed. Imagine the adrenaline running through it, the food it's eaten, the steroids that get pumped into it, and then you're eating that as it's died. That adrenaline, like animals run away when you try to kill them. So, and I couldn't personally kill an animal myself. And how many people in England, if they had to kill the animal to eat it, would actually do that?
One of the quickest ways to, my mother had a friend when I was growing up, and she was a vegetarian, and she had been to an abattoir or slaughterhouse when she was younger, and to this day, if she sees meat up close, she'll instantly start vomiting.
Even that, a slaughterhouse, it's called a slaughterhouse. There's butchers, that. We're so numb to the words when it's termed in terms of an animal, but if you put it in terms of a human, it's the most fucked up thing, and they should die for whatever.
I like meat.
I like meat as well, but the thing
everyone
is, Brian,
says that. I love meat. Burgers was my favourite food, but it came to a point where it's not about me anymore and what I like. It's about the animal that has to die, and I'm irresponsible in just eating it and laughing along at a meal removed from the process that's gone on behind the scenes of it getting slaughtered and whatever.
Brian eats steak that's been like massaged and like hand-reared. And
do I? I would. No, I want to go. Actually, I want to go hunt, and I want to go.
I don't mind so much if like Joe Rogan, he hunts, and if you're into hunting, I think that's
why I want to do it. Of course,
that's a bit fairer. if you're killing it yourself, then at least you're in that process and you know what it takes, and you're a man doing it rather than just.
I'm still on the fence with that, because how are you killing it? It's one thing to have a high-powered rifle. It's another thing to have like, a knife or a bow and arrow. I respect
you would never
that.
kill it though.
Come on,
it would take
you would
a
never
year.
kill it. I would track that thing down and jump on its back.
I want to see that wild boar. But yeah, no, there's something to be said as far as the karma and stuff. But being vegan must be difficult to do.
Yeah.
And
it's easy in England. It's when you go abroad, sometimes I have to just accept and be vegetarian. And like in Sweden, I was just I had cheese. It's like because we have Marks and Spencers or Waitrose.
So many options.
Yeah, you can just go and get a superfood salad. There's no problem.
And for training, you're better on it, you said?
Much better on it, yeah. It's like I have more energy. My recovery rate's improved. There's all these myths, I think, that come with food. Until you actually try, I don't think I'd ever not eaten meat for a day or two since I was a kid, you know?
It's also subjective. There's so many different diets and theories, and at the end of the day, you have to test it on yourself. You have to say, what makes me feel good when I eat it, and what makes me feel like shit. And you might do fantastically on a vegan diet, and some people might feel like
there's
shit.
the whole argument that I believe is maybe the blood type diet. Some people's blood types need meat, and some people's don't. Maybe I'm just one of those that doesn't. But at the end of the day, I'd rather die weaker than having 100 cows killed. Like they cause so much less damage to the planet. Me being alive, driving a car, catching the tube, wearing these clothes causes so much more harm to the planet and people around the world than an animal living on a farm in a field. So I have no more right to be alive than he does. So he can take the life. If I have to die for it, then whatever. If I shrivel and die, then that's it.
What do your parkour and free runner colleagues say about your diet? I saw an interview you were given to one of them, and you were pushing your diet on him. You're like, oh, are you vegan yet? See, that's a proper vegan when you're pushing your diet.
Yeah, you know what? I feel so bad pushing it, but then so often I just think, how can people? You're not born eating. If I was born on this planet, I wouldn't go up to a cow and start sucking its tit. I wouldn't go up to a chicken and eat its period. I wouldn't go up and kill, chickens and start eating them. So it's
Do chickens have periods?
An egg is a chicken's period. That's what you're eating when you eat
not really. Also, the eggs come out of the chicken and they die anyways. So it's like they come out anyways. Yeah. It's the thing most people don't know.
It's like a woman has a period. It comes out anyway, but it's
yeah, okay. I don't know if I appreciate your analogy.
It's because it's true. The only thing is funny.
What was your point?
My point is that I don't think we're born, not all of us, to eat meat. Obviously, back in the day, when we were Neanderthals, we were hunting, we were eating meat to survive. But we've evolved since that. We've evolved consciously, but our diet hasn't evolved to match our conscious state. And that's what my main point is, that we've evolved mindset and we're more loving than we used to be and more awake. But yet our diet has gotten worse because we go to McDonald's every fucking day.
That's interesting.
I must say, like, when you see a free runner and you see these guys using their body every day, like some of your peers and stuff, it would seem like the last thing they can do is go to McDonald's. I mean, they are athletes at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it also seems like the sport is probably the least into their nutrition.
It's also the childish skater mind, because it's a mixture of like,
I can do whatever, I can eat candy bars.
Exactly. And
the rebel.
You can when you're younger. And that's why the people my age that are free runners that will continue to do that. But you never know when they're 40 how they're going to cope. And I feel like now, you have to do what makes you believe is going to be successful. Like with this diet, I now believe that I can go to 40 or beyond and still be training and active because of this diet. There's nothing negative about it.
Wait till you're 40 though.
Yeah, obviously wait till I'm 40, but the belief
gets awesome at 40.
But once the belief is there, then that helps it begin. Whereas if I was still eating badly, then I would have less belief in myself. I think, oh yeah, everyone else seems to retire at 30. Maybe I have to retire at 30.
Well, it's far more likely that if you eat clean that you will probably be able to do it at 40 than if you...
all the diseases like cancer and things like that drop off as well, because cancers can only... they thrive in an acidic environment. And so plant-based diet is mostly alkaline. And so all those problems go away. Things like pork are the most acidic, and then beef, steaks, and then chicken and fish is the least acidic. So of all meats, if you're going to eat it, try and eat fish because it's a bit less acidic as the others. It's more alkaline. And so,
what are your thoughts, Brian?
Yeah.
You've changed your diet a lot.
I have. Well, yeah, and since we've been involved with the ayahuasca, we kind of changed the diet for the ayahuasca, and then you find out that later you stay on it for some reason, and you stay away from pork, and you stay away from gluten, and you start doing all this weird stuff. So
I was watching one of our first shows a while back, and we were chubby motherfuckers.
Yeah, it was Fat Brian and Fat Nick.
I used to be, man. I used to be chubby. I've seen some old pictures. But that's just a sign that changing your diet is right. Then if you feel better now.
I think gluten itself
was that the main change?
That again,
I think that just drops.
So you don't eat bread again, or you get gluten-free
I haven't
bread?
Eaten bread? No. Well, I mean, if gluten-free bread's around, I might try it. But
what about pasta?
No, I don't eat any of that.
No. I think that'll drop. I think that'll drop 5% of your body weight, and weight you really don't need off the bat.
It's so natural as well. It's not.
Yeah, it's just you just end up staying away from it. That's been probably the best thing.
Really, that's because the thing is, you can be vegan and still eat shit. You can eat fries and bread every day.
Pizza and
you can't eat pizza. You can eat cheese.
Because cheese. Okay.
but yeah, so that's another thing is I try to be a bit more gluten free, but occasionally you get caught up with a good tomato pasta or something.
Well, you know that expression, that Bible verse. I'm quite into my Bible verses as of late. And it's, excuse the pun, but you shall know a tree by its fruit. Like if you look, some vegans, they look incredibly healthy, and they're the ones who are eating, sprouted grains and like organic fruit and vegetables. And then you look at some vegans who are anemic and they're one foot in the grave, and it's because they're living on toast.
That's true. Yeah,
and it's so much, such a broad spectrum.
I think the aim for me is again looking back to nature and not what science has taught us, because science just removes us from miracles. Things that back in the day would be perceived to be miracles. Once science has an explanation, you learn it in school. It's boring now. It's science.
Can you give us an example?
So with food, I just aim to match as many different colours as possible. It's that simple. With a diet, to have a balanced diet, you have orange from sweet potato, something like that. You have
blood red steak.
Yeah, blue, not the bluefish, but you get raspberries, bluefish, blueberries. But yeah, I just
So
tried
you
to
mix
get
up
as
the
many
colour
different
spectrum.
colours. Yeah, and then I feel like I'm having a balanced diet, just completely natural. I didn't need to do experiments on it to find out. And
Okay.
feel
Wow,
fine.
that's
That
a good
makes
question.
sense.
You know, then this leads me to a great question to ask a 24-year-old, and we were talking about it earlier. How much longer can you do what you're doing?